got 4, we've got 5. All right, so I live my life by the saying, people plan, the gods laugh, and the universe persists. This will not work with uneven teams. So let's all come together and make a circle here. We're going to get started. Oh, thanks. All right, if I could ask you to put your plate down for the time being, Evan, and if you could come over with this group over here. So real quickly, my name is Michael D'Italia. Good afternoon. I'm the Program Coordinator for Engaged Civic Learning with the Office of Civic Engagement at Rutgers-Camden. That's a mouthful to process. Don't worry, we'll get to that. What I'd like you to do, we've broken up into 2 groups. And if I could have you, Linda, come over with this team, and you, Miss, I'm sorry, I can't see your name. If I could have you come over with this group. And quickly, because this is going to be a timed activity, and they told me I only have 45 minutes with y'all, right? So let's do this. If you all can form a circle over here with your group, if you could form a circle over here with your group, we're going to need our hands free. All right, we all know what our hands are, right? All right, reach your hands out into the middle of the circle. Reach your hands out into the middle of the circle. And then, Angela, I know you, so I'm going to grab you. I need you to grab hands with 2 people in the circle who are not directly next to you. Same over here, Tony. So I need you to grab hands with 2 people in the circle who are not directly next to you. I'm not one of those people. All right. So here's the deal. On the count of 3. You are observing with me. So on the count of 3, your job is, without letting go of each other's hands, to disentangle yourselves. Without letting go of each other's hands. You have 2 minutes to do this, and the winning team is the team that gets to sit in the chairs. All right? On the count of 3. You good? 1, 2, 3. This team over here now. A little bit of a head start. We'll let that slide.
There we go. You got your back.
Whoa! Hold on! Stop the presses! That was ridiculous. So I'm sorry, y'all don't even have a chance to learn the important lesson because Team Angela just untangled themselves. So let's give it up for Team Angela. Team Angela, you have the first right to chairs. It looks like there's enough chairs. Sure, absolutely. If you wouldn't mind. All right. Looks like we have enough chairs to go around, so I'm going to let that happen. Feel free to slide closer. I've just been corrected for being too loud. I'm an only child and a child of adoption. There's nothing I love in the universe more than the sound of my own voice. But they just set me straight. So again, good afternoon. My name is Michael D'Italia. I'm the Program Coordinator for Engaged Civic Learning with the Office of Civic Engagement at Rutgers-Camden. My primary job there is to work alongside our faculty to design, facilitate, and evaluate courses where students are working directly with local community, nonprofit, and government organizations as part of their academic career. But another big part of my job, and that really gets me most excited, is that for the past 2 years, I've been working with our campus and partners from around the Camden community across sectors to execute what we call our Civic Action Plan. Rutgers-Camden's articulated commitment to being a good neighbor in the city of Camden while advancing the teaching, research, and service mission of our university. Now here's the part of the show where I have to be completely honest with you. I made the first round of presentations with you this afternoon. I'm not going to be telling you anything new. Really, what I hope to do in this time and space is add some names to some of the concepts that we've already heard shared from our friends from before lunch. And in doing so, maybe give you some tools for thinking about how we can continue these creative collaborations around the state of New Jersey to drive the goals of our communities. Fair enough? So no minds blown, but maybe tools given. All right? So why don't I have you stand in a circle with strangers after lunch when you just want to take a nap and have you disentangle yourselves, right? Because in one way or another, this is the work that all of us are doing in our communities, right? We work across sectors, for-profit with non-profit, education communities with arts communities to try and solve wicked, persistent, complex problems that we all experience, right? And we don't usually do that cleanly. We have random partnerships across that circle, and it can get really hard to disentangle ourselves sometimes to make any sense of our work together. And at the onset of the implementation of the Rutgers-Camden Civic Action Plan, this was the challenge that we had. We had partnerships with for-profit businesses, nonprofit communities, the K-12 public schools, the charter schools, right? Government officials, community activists. And in that space, we had to figure out how to get everybody around a shared table to start talking about positive change that we could create together, each one of us leveraging the unique contributions that only our organization could contribute to the whole. And I'll tell you how we did that. We did that by focusing on a concept called shared value. If you wouldn't mind passing this around, John. So shared value, again, this isn't going to be mind-blowing. It's something that we're all familiar with. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of the phrase a win-win situation. So shared value refers to policies and practices that make an individual organization more competitive or more effective in the execution of its mission, while contributing to the social and economic conditions in the community in which it exists. Right? So at Rutgers-Camden, as we started moving forward with our Civic Action Plan, we asked ourselves, where's the win-win for everybody in this? Right? Because what the hospitals and other universities in the college, or in the city of Camden might want out of this partnership could look very different from what the youth-serving organizations might want, or the local business association. So we sat down with a few of our key stakeholders and said, what is that thing that we can all land on together? And what we discovered was we all wanted to increase engagement. Whether that was on our campus, with our students, faculty, and staff going out into the community and working alongside our partners. Whether that was our social service partners, engaging more clients in the resources that they had to offer, whether that was for more local businesses, engaging customers within and from without the city. So, by identifying our shared value of a desire for increased engagement, we were able to begin to organize our diverse stakeholders around this concept of collective impact. And again, collective impact isn't a mind-blowing concept that's going to be new to any of us, but it refers to a framework that assumes that all of us working together can accomplish infinitely more than any one of us could by our own efforts, right? And so this is the work that we try to do, right? And this is what we've been hearing as we've gone around the room before lunch, right? These creative, place-based, collaborative efforts to create positive change. Now, what we know is that there are several best practices that really contribute to effective and meaningful and transformational collective impact. They're on your handout, they're also up here. Forgive my handwriting, my mother said based on it I should have been a doctor. But collective impact really is driven by 5 practices. The first, a common agenda. If we all have a goal to accomplish together, we're likely to make progress on it together. Shared measurement. Learning how to describe and measure our progress on that goal the same way. Continuous communication. Humanity exists as a society because we talk to each other, right? By the way, the group that started talking first was the group that untangled themselves most quickly. Also, mutually reinforcing activities. Have you ever tried to participate in a collaborative initiative and it seemed like people were pushing or pulling against each other? Rather than everybody competing for their own interests, identifying activities and strategies where everybody is able to get something out of the deal by contributing their best. And then finally, a backbone organization or organizations. Raise your hand if you work in the nonprofit sector. Cool. I love y'all. Raise your hand if this is the reality of your organization. If there's never enough dollars, never enough hours, never enough people to do everything that you want to do. And so, these types of collective impact collaborations are really challenging, particularly in the nonprofit community, because there's all this stuff we want to do, but we don't always have the time, treasure, or talent to get it done. Right? But the presence of a backbone organization, an external convener who's willing to step in and say, let's do this together, is really critical to cultivating collective impact. And after a year of speaking with our partner organizations around the city, Rutgers-Camden realized that this was the role that we were being asked to play in collective impact in our community. Not to be in charge, not to slap the big scarlet on everything, but to serve as communicators, creators of a neutral space where diverse groups of people can come together and have hard conversations with each other and ask challenging questions of each other. As we started that process, we identified this goal of increased engagement, like I said. And from that first piece of shared value, and if you look, I'm a process guy, so I laid this all out in what I hope is a sensible framework for you that you can take home and think about maybe use for your own purposes. But once we were able to identify our piece of shared value, the desire for all of us to increase engagement with our programs, it became much easier for us to organize our efforts for collective impact. Because as soon as we said our goal is to increase engagement with local events, services, and other resources, there's our common agenda, right? And there immediately is our shared measurement. We can measure our success on this by the increase in engagement that we experience within our programs, and the increase in audience reach. How many people are hearing about these resources that we want to share? Then from there, we began a process of continuous communication, recognizing that not everybody had time to contribute to this goal. We formed a working group of people who really saw value in identifying a collaborative strategy to increasing audience engagement with our various programs in the city. We also identified some backbone support organizations who we felt had a key role to play in that. HopeWorks, a workforce development organization that focuses on taking youth to the next stage in their life. Cooper's Ferry Partnership, one of the major developers in the city of Camden, a nonprofit organization who helps to sustain the economic development that's taking place in the city. And the District Council Collaborative Board, an agency whose entire mission is to get people around a common table and have them working together. So working with these other three backbone organizations, we identified a common need for more effective resource sharing. And it is 2019, so we realized that the best way to do that was online, to develop a database of resources that could be used to more efficiently promote all of the great stuff that was going on. Because every organization at the table had a Facebook page, everybody had a website. If they were a newer, fresher organization, maybe an Instagram page, right? But everybody pushing their own channel of communication only had limited impact. And so by working collaboratively, we're presently developing a streamlined system of advertising events and programs and services that can be ported out to multiple platforms. Through the District Council Collaborative Board's newsletter, which is a newsletter that everybody in the city reads. But it's like drinking from a fire hose right now, because it's everything at you all at once, disorganized. So we're streamlining the format for how programs and resources are put into that newsletter so that people can get the information that they need without having to read the encyclopedia. Using that same system, we're trying to create a database connected to an online calendar that promotes every organization's activities and programs that are being offered. So you don't have to compete for traffic to your own Facebook page to find out what's going on. You can go to the Camden Resource Council and know what's taking place. And then finally, using that exact same system and recognizing that a lot of our community still uses paper, flyers, things of that nature as the most effective means of communication. Again, streamline the process for creating those flyers by using one format for event information, resource information. You can print it on a flyer, you can punch it into a calendar, or you can push it through a newsletter. And so this, for me, is an example of shared value. Because every partner at the table is going to get something out of this database. Every partner's mission is going to be enhanced. And in a perfect world, every organization at the table is going to experience that increased or enhanced engagement that we were looking for in the first place. So why do I tell you all this? It's not to toot Rutgers' horn, because frankly this wasn't our effort. This is a collaboration of more than 50 organizations working together around the city. We just happen to have a conference room where we can all get together. I tell you this because as you're listening to the collective brilliance of this space, we're going to notice collaboration is key, right? Teamwork is key. But what are the frameworks and best practices that are already out there that can really drive these efforts? Because we don't want to reinvent them. We're all stretched for time and resources. So at the bottom of the handout you received, you'll see references to two articles that are really kind of central to our thinking around collective impact and shared value. I would encourage you to check those out. If you have any more questions or thoughts about how these strategies might be used to enhance the work of organizations in your communities, I have business cards available and I'm happy to share them. Now with the 22 seconds that I have remaining, are there any questions that I can address? You want to play the game again? So the impact that we've had so far is that, honestly, this is a question, a conversation that's been going on in the city in one way or another for about the past 6 years, but there's never been movement. Everybody says it would be great if we could communicate better. If residents down in Waterfront South could know what's going on in Kramer Hill all the way on the other side of the city. But nobody's ever been able to move forward on it, frankly, because of the spirit of competition, right? Because if I create the system, I want the data. But here's the thing, if no one entity creates the system, if the system is democratically owned, then everybody owns the data and everybody can benefit. And so we think about that in terms of long-term value as well, because we're going to be aggregating a lot of data about programs, resources, services in the city. And as we can take a more macro-level view at those things, we can find out what residents are really interested in, right? Or those opportunities that people don't take advantage of. And we can start asking questions, why? Is transportation a barrier? Is it that you really don't want to go to that neighborhood? So really just the existence of this work itself is our first big win. We've also been able to break our stakeholders up in terms of data people, in terms of asset mapping people, here's the important one, in terms of fundraising people. Recognizing that these systems cost money, we've had some organizations step up whose expertise is in developing funds and resources to support this work to say, hey, I'm not just writing a grant for my organization, I'm going to start chasing down grants to fund this work that's going to serve all of our goals. Does that answer your question? Others? All right. There's nothing worse than dead air. So, Greg, if you want to turn that off.
You know what you can piggyback on?
Absolutely.
Because in your shared values, what this actually is the piece of a program plan or the grant goals and objectives. And because most of you are nonprofits, you don't always see that. You're just doing the day-to-day thing. The piece that folks don't get is the evaluation because it's difficult. So you have to, each step, evaluate where you're really going. You said, is it because no one wants to live in that neighborhood, or what other barriers or positives are coming at? And that's the piece that will hold together.
And can I tie that to my secret sauce?
Yes.
That we don't like to talk about too much because it gets people too excited. Data equals dollars.
That's right.
Right?
And you got to justify it.
Absolutely. And so our subversive hope in all of this is that as organizations in our city work more collaboratively, we start chasing bigger funders. Saying, you know what? Don't give $10,000 to organizations X, Y, and Z.
That's right.
Give 25 to all of us working together. We can do more.
Because you wrote all those wonderful objectives, but you didn't have a strategy.
The session's ending. We need to switch clockwise.
Absolutely. Yeah. So data equals dollars.
That's right.
Thank